Hello students, so now let's move to the next chapter, that is elasticity of demand. Okay, so let's first start with the introduction. So what is elasticity? In the previous chapter we have already studied the law of demand, which shows the inverse relationship between quantity demanded and the price of a commodity. The law of demand does not explain the extent of change in demand due to change in the price. Thus, the law of demand fails to explain the quantitative relationship between price and quantity demanded, and therefore Professor Alfred Marshall explained the concept of elasticity of demand. Okay, so that is why the concept is developed. Okay, so next, what is the concept of elasticity of demand? So if you see, the term elasticity indicates responsiveness of one variable to a change in the other variable. Elasticity of demand refers to the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded to a change in its price or any other factor. Okay. According to Professor Alfred Marshall, elasticity of demand is great or small according to the amount demanded, which rises much or little for a given fall in price, and quantity demanded falls much or little for a given rise in price. So what does it mean? It's a great or small according to the amount demanded, elasticity, and which rises much or little for a given fall in price and quantity demanded. So what are the important factors? The price and the quantity demanded. It falls or rise according to the elasticity of demand. Okay. It is clear from the above definition that elasticity of demand is a technical term which describes the responsiveness of change in quantity demanded to fall or rise in its price. In other words, it is the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded of a commodity to percentage change in the price. It's a percentage change. Okay. So what are the types of elasticity of demand? So there are three types. One is the income elasticity, second is the cross elasticity, and third is the price elasticity. Okay, so now let's study this in detail. So what is the first one? Income elasticity. So what does income means? It refers to a degree of responsiveness of a change in the quantity demanded to a change in the income only. So there is a change in the income only, not in anything else, because it's income elasticity. Okay, and other factors including price remains unchanged. So all other factors are remaining unchanged. It's expressed as E of y. E is, so we'll consider symbolically what is E y. Ey is the elasticity of income. Percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in income. Quantity divided by the income. So symbolically, how are you going to mention this? EY is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in income. Y is the income, equal to change in quantity divided by change in the income divided by change in the change in income. Okay, equal to change in quantity demanded divided by quantity multiplied by, so now this was divided, so when you change to multiplication, this will go up and this will come down. Change in y divided by demand change in income of the consumer. So where delta is represents the change, so this sign represents the change. Q is the original demand, y is the original income, delta Q is change in quantity demanded, and this sign and y is change in the income of a consumer. So remember that income elasticity is the percentage change in the quantity demanded divided by change in income. So as and when our income changes, the quantity demanded also changes. Okay, so remember this concept. So next one is the cross elasticity. So what does cross elasticity means? It refers to a change in quantity demanded of one commodity due to a change in the price of other commodity. Change in one due to change in other commodity. So remember that cross, it's a cross thing. So complementary goods, example of complementary goods or substitutes. So suppose if the price of tea increases, the demand for coffee will increase. Same with sugar. If price of sugar increases, the price then the demand for jaggery will increase. Okay. So EC equal to percentage change in quantity demanded of A divided by percentage change in price of B. Okay. So what is A over here? So A over here is the original commodity and B is the other commodity. Okay. So now let's understand it with the help of a formula. Okay, so what does the formula say? Symbolically, EC equal to percentage change in quantity of original product divided by change in the price of the another product. Okay, so change in quantity of product A divided by quantity A divided by change in the price of product B divided by price of B. So when it's division and it changes into multiplication, this will go up and this will come down. Okay, so where QA is equal to the Q of A is the original quantity demanded of commodity A. Okay, and this sign QA is the change in quantity demanded of commodity A. P of B is the original price of commodity B, and change PB is equal to change in price of commodity B. Okay. So third comes the price elasticity. So what is price elasticity now? According to Professor Alfred Marshall, price elasticity of demand is the ratio of proportionate change in the quantity demanded to a proportionate change in its price only. Proportionate change. So remember that. Price elasticity is the proportionate change in the quantity demanded as per the proportionate change in the price. Okay. So E of D is equal to percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in price. Okay. Symbolically, how you are going to write? ED is equal to percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in price. ED is equal to change in quantity divided by change in price divided by price. So once you multiply this, it will go up and this will come down, which is I have mentioned it in this formula. Okay. So where Q is equal to the original quantity demanded, delta Q is the difference between the new quantity and the original quantity demanded. P is the original price, and delta P is the difference between the original price and the new price. Okay. So remember this, and you have to symbolically write all this to explain this elasticities. Okay. These were the types of elasticity. Okay. Now the types of price elasticity of demand. Okay. So there are multiple price elasticity. We just completed the price elasticity. Now the types of price elasticity. Okay. So first one is the perfectly elastic demand, E of D. So see this sign, how is it written? Okay, inversely it's written as 8. Okay, so this is the sign of perfectly elastic demand. Okay, when a slight or zero change in the price brings about an indefinite change in the quantity demanded of that commodity. Okay, when a slight or zero change in the price brings about an infinite change in the quantity demanded of the commodity, it's called as perfectly elastic demand. Okay, only a slight change will bring a change in the quantity demanded. It is a theoretical concept. Only you can understand in theory, while in a real general world, in the real world, it's not possible to measure the elastic demand. Okay, example, 10% fall may lead to an infinite rise in demand. 10% in the price may rise in demand. So ED is the elasticity of demand equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by, okay, here it is divided by percentage change in price equal to, and this sign you have to, this is the price elasticity of demand sign. Okay, ED is equal to this percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Okay, so this is a same formula that we had in the price elasticity. Okay, but this sign has to be there, and you have to explain it with the help of an example. So it's the x-axis, you have the quantity demanded, in y you have the price. Okay, and this straight line goes, this is a demand sign. Okay, demand I have drawn over here, and therefore ED is equal to price elasticity. In the above figure, the demand curve, this is the demand curve. DD is an horizontal line parallel to the x-axis, indicating the perfectly elastic demand. It's perfectly elastic. So as the price changes, the quantity demanded changes. So it goes in a similar direction, and that's why it's the parallel lines. Okay. So next comes the perfectly inelastic demand. Perfectly inelastic demand. So ED is equal to 0. Okay, when a percentage change in price has no effect on the quantity demanded of a commodity, is called perfectly inelastic. So change in price has no effect on the demand. Okay, for example, you can take the example of necessary products like salt. You don't have any replacement for salt, or for milk. There is no substitute for milk. Okay, so they are perfectly inelastic demand. Example, 20% fall in price will have no effect on quantity demanded. Okay, so ED is equal to percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in price. So ED, suppose 0 divided by, so what is ED? Equal to 0 divided by 20 is equal to 0. So anything divided by 0, okay, will give you the answer as 0. So ED is equal to 0 over here. In practice, such a situation rarely occurs. So remember this, it rarely occurs. And as I've given the example, demand for milk and salt, we don't have substitute for this, and that's why if anything happens to a change in price for this, there will be no change in demand. Okay, this is perfectly inelastic diagram I have drawn. So whenever you are giving the definition, you definitely have to write the formula and the diagram as well. So on y-axis we have the price, x-axis we have the quantity demanded. Okay, and here I have drawn a straight line which is vertical, which is parallel to this vertical line. Okay, this is the demand curve. This is the price 1, price, original price, and the price of product 2, P2. Okay, so in the above figure, when the price rises from OP to OP1, or when the price falls from OP to OP2, demand remains unchanged at OQ. So at OQ, the demand will remain same even if the price increases or falls. Therefore, the demand curve is a vertical straight line. Therefore, this curve is a demand curve is a vertical straight line. There will be no change, because even if the price increases or decreases, there is no change in the demand. The demand curve will go straight in this direction only. Okay. Therefore, the demand curve is a perfect vertical straight line parallel to the y-axis, indicating perfectly inelastic demand. So there will be no change in the demand. Then comes unitary elastic demand. So what is unitary elastic demand? ED is equal to 1. When a percentage change in price leads to proportionate change in quantity demanded, the demand is said to be unitary elastic. So change in price leads to change in what? Demand. Quantity demanded. Example, 50% fall in price of commodity leads to 50% rise in the quantity demanded. Okay, so ED is equal to percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in price, equal to, suppose if the price is 50, if the commodity falls by 50 and the rise is in the demanded increase by 50, is equal to 1. Therefore ED is equal to 1. So you have to write this formula as well when you give the definition of unitary elastic demand. And you have to draw this diagram as well. On the x-axis you have the quantity demanded, y-axis you have the price, and suppose this is the quantity demanded. So Q and Q1 is given over here, and P and P1 is given over here. So in above figure, how you are going to write, how define this above figure, when the price falls from OP to OP1, when it falls, first the price is high, then it falls down and it comes to OP1, 50% demand rises from OQ to OQ to OQ2. Okay, this I have to write as OQ2. Okay, so 50% change in the demand if the price falls. Therefore, the slope of the demand curve is the rectangular hyperbola. If you see, it's a rectangular hyperbola. Okay, if the price falls from OP to OP1, the demand will increase from OQ to OQ2. Okay, so that is why, and if I have drawn the demand curve as this, as a slight slope is there. Okay, and this is the rectangular hyperbola. Okay, so next comes the relatively elastic demand. ED is greater than 1. When a percentage change in price leads to more than proportionate change in the quantity demanded, the demand is said to be relatively elastic. So 50% fall in price leads to 100% rise in the quantity demanded. There is a change, but there is a more change. Okay, 50% price leads to 100% increase in demand. So it's a very high change. Okay, so ED is equal to change in quantity divided by change in price. So formula is the same for everything, but this numbers changes. ED is equal to 100% change. The change in quantity will be 100% up to the, and the price fall is 50%. Therefore, the ED is equal to ED will be 2. Okay, 100 divided by 50 will give you the answer as 2. So 2 is greater than ED. Okay, ED is equal to greater than 1. ED is equal to 2, which is greater than 1, obviously. Okay, so in this figure I have again drawn quantity on the x-axis, price on the y-axis, and P and P1 is there, Q and Q1 is there. Okay, in the above figure, when price falls from OP, price falls from OP to OP1, okay, that is a 50% change, then the demand rises from OQ to OQ1. Okay, so here the distance is more and here it's more, it's less, it's 50 and this is 100. Okay, therefore the demand curve has a flatter slope. If you see, it's a rectangular, but it's a flat slope, it's a bit flat slope. Okay, so you have to explain this better. Okay, then comes the relatively inelastic demand. So here ED is greater than 1, is less than 1, sorry. When a percentage change in price leads to less than proportionate change in the quantity demanded, demand is said to be relatively inelastic. Percentage 50% fall in price leads to 25% rise in quantity. So here also fall and rise is there, but the percentage changes 50% and 25%. Okay, so ED is like change in quantity divided by change in price, 25 divided by 100, which gives you 0.5, and 0.5 point is less than 1. So ED is less than 1. So here also in this diagram, I have drawn the quantity demanded on the x-axis and price on the y-axis. Okay, in the above figure, when the price falls from OP it falls to OP1, the demand rises from OQ to OQ2, 25%. So the slope is bit a steeper slope. If you see, it's steep. Okay, it's bit steep. It's not like the previous lemma, like a flatter one. It's not flat. It's a steeper slope. So that was it regarding the elasticities of demand. So in the next chapter, we'll move to the methods of measuring the price elasticity of demand. So if you have any question, do write in the comment section and do let me know as to which concept you have not understood. So do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you.